Welcome back to Sunday Medz. I want to read a short passage from my favorite New Testament book, the book of James, from chapter 1, verses 5 to 8. If any one of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does. As I thought about the dangers of being double-minded and why the Bible admonishes us to not be double-minded, I came up with 3 points. The first one is that when you're double-minded, your interests are split, your mind is split. And in another part of the Bible, God clearly tells us that you cannot serve 2 masters. You will eventually turn to one over the other. And this applies to this passage in James chapter 1 as well. If we ask the Lord for wisdom on a particular matter, or how to govern our lives, and he actually answers us and gives us direction and clear instruction, but for whatever reason we're fishing around for other options, weighing them, seeing if maybe what Satan and his kingdom has to offer makes more sense, or if what our friends are doing makes more sense, we really will not ever receive what the Lord has given us, because when the Lord does answer, we will still be doubting, going back and forth, not actually latching on and implementing that wisdom, that answer, that solution that he gave us. The second point I came up with about why the Bible admonishes us to not be double-minded is that it divides our energy. It's either we're going to follow God and trust him or not. Otherwise, we will be going back and forth with our energy, with our thoughts, with our time, even with our decisions, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, leaving us mentally, emotionally, even physically drained. The Lord wants us to live a life that is along a clear path, that is free, that is abundant. He says, take my yoke upon you because it is easy and light. But if we live with double-mindedness, doubting, going back and forth like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind, we will not land anywhere solidly. And we are supposed to be standing solidly on Christ the rock, anchored, firm, unmoving, unshaken. And third and lastly, when we are double-minded, it is easier to fall. We are at high risk of falling, and this is what we saw in the case of King Saul. He started out following God passionately, but then he decided to listen to his soldiers, to disobey the commands of the Lord, to wipe out the enemy completely. Because he was double-minded, he was not solidly in the camp of the Lord, and it led to his ultimate demise and the kingdom of Israel being taken from him and handed to another person who was not double-minded, who actually sought after the Lord with all of his heart, mind, and soul. And so the Lord honored him even to carry the Messiah from his lineage, the lineage of David. When we are double-minded, the potential is there to have a good start but a bad end, and that is not my hope for you or for myself. So today I just want to point us to the admonishment of James chapter 1 to land solidly in the camp of the Lord, following his commands, his heart, his path for your life, and not doubting, not going back and forth, weighing the Lord on scales as if friends have something to offer or the enemy, Satan, has something to offer that the Lord doesn't. Be encouraged. See you next time.